Look at the fantastic camera work that the motorbike pilot and the cameraman are giving us.
Welcome to stage 6 of La Vuelta Femenina. Demi Follering seized control of the race yesterday with a commanding performance in the first proper mountain stage, but with only 5 seconds separating her and the defending champion, Annemiek van Vleuten, nothing is settled just yet. Today we have 2 smaller climbs on the road from Castro-Urdiales to Laredo with some absolutely beautiful scenery on the menu. First, the Alto de Fuente de las Varas, 6.4 k's at 5.4%, then the slightly longer Puerto de Campo El Hayal, 8.2 k's at 4.6%. That tops out with 22 k to go before a downhill sweep to the finish line. But the riders hadn't even reached the climbs before it all started kicking off in the crosswinds. Follering found herself on the wrong side of a split, and suddenly it was panic stations at SD Works as they began to be distanced by the main peloton. Movistar putting the hammer down on behalf of Van Vleuten and putting the race leader under serious pressure. The gap was well over a minute as they hit the first climb, with Movistar still pacing hard. Well, Follering had company in the shape of Ricarda Bauernfeind, who had that excellent third place yesterday, but getting back to the front was looking an increasingly impossible task. And that's because Van Vleuten wasn't in the mood to take any prisoners.
And there she goes. Gaia Realini on her wheel. We have Niebadoma not that much further back. And this is the moment. Going all out to get Annemiek van Vleuten back in the red leader's jersey.
A stinging attack from the world champion as she whittled that front group down to just 7 riders. Realini, Garcia, Rihanna Marcus, Magnaldi, Labus and Music battling just to hold her wheel. Well, Marcus and Garcia lost contact before the summit. AVV leading a group of 5 over the top. They were followed by Garcia and Marcus at 30-odd seconds. Then it was a group containing Elise Chabet, the Queen of the Mountains. And finally Follering at nearly 2 minutes. Those gaps remained pretty stable on the descent. With no teammates around her, Follering was being forced to lead the chase herself. And she had virtually lost the jersey by the intermediate sprint as Van Vleuten sprang away. The Dutchwoman just decided to keep on going and left the others in her dust. But she would get some company on the second climb as Realini bridged across, the lightweight Italian proving that she is a heavyweight climber at just 40 kilos. Well, the 40-year-old Van Vleuten and the 21-year-old Realini leading the way to the summit of the Campo El Hayal, followed by a chase group of 3 riders, Labus, Magnaldi and Music. No real change for Follering. She was still a minute and 40-odd back. What a difference a day can make in cycling. Van Vleuten also becoming the virtual Queen of the Mountains as she and Realini swept into this descent.
Look at this. Look at the fantastic camera work that the motorbike pilot and the cameraman are giving us.
The Follering group eventually caught up to Labus, Magnaldi and Music, but the outgoing race leader was having trouble finding anybody to help her with the chase. Van Vleuten was heading into red then, but could she also get her first win this season in the Rainbow Bands?
It's going to be a sprint between the two, between Annemiek van Vleuten and Gaia Realini. Is it going to be Van Vleuten or Realini? It's going to be a real battle to the line here. Annemiek van Vleuten and Gaia Realini. And it actually looks like it's... What a surprise! How did this happen? Second win there for Gaia Realini, but what a win it was in a sprint with Annemiek van Vleuten.
Anyone in cycling who hadn't heard of Gaia Realini before today will certainly know her now. The young Italian's had a breakout season since joining Trek Segafredo, coming second at the UAE Tour behind her teammate Elisa Longo Borghini, and then winning the Trofeo Oro ahead of her teammate Amanda Spratt. She also had a strong classics campaign, but what a way to secure her very first World Tour win by stunning the world champion in Laredo. She has a very bright future indeed.
It's an incredible day for me and the whole team, because in the first part work with my team for the climb in the first part, the group, and when Annemiek efforts, I stay behind you, and it's incredible. I don't have a word for this day.
There was a certain amount of confusion after the finish, with the stage win first awarded to Realini and then Van Vleuten and finally Realini again. But one certainty was that Vollering came in over a minute down. Van Vleuten denied her first victory of 2023 then, but she can console herself with that red jersey. She goes into the final stage with 1 minute and 11 seconds in hand over Vollering. The Dutch are still dominating, even if this was the first stage to slip through their fingers. Marianne Vos finished nearly 6 minutes back in the third group, but she's still on course to win the green jersey. Van Vleuten up to second place in the points classification. She also takes over as the new Queen of the Mountains, with Realini and Xabi in second and third. Well, the race was completely turned on its head today. Are we going to have more drama on Sunday as we hike up to the iconic Lagos de Covadonga? Join us tomorrow to find out, and thanks for watching.